right, now talking about all of these matchups and these teams, we haven't even talked about the first matchup of the day. Let's just go ahead and bring it up. The Minnesota Røkkr will be facing off against the London Royal Ravens. When it comes to the Minnesota Røkkr, nameless yesterday, I'm loving what I see from them, but there's still room to grow.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I underestimated the Røkkr a little bit. I honestly thought that they were still gonna struggle a lot in hardpoint. Where they've had their struggles a bit, they've been stealing hardpoints in some of these series. And even yesterday, you know, we saw them going up against Seattle. Like in that control, they had an opportunity to win the control there as well if they played a little bit quicker. So we're seeing improvements with every match. And every time in this team gets to search and destroy, I expect them to win because they're just so polished there. But for the game fuel keys to victory for the Minnesota Røkkr, hardpoint setups need to be on point. London is breaking 45% of hills. They're #1 in the league. So when it comes to Røkkr rotating and setting up, you got to get that first blood to alleviate that pressure on the side of London. Search and destroy success is key versus a strong respawn team. They're 3rd in round win percentage. We saw the different looks that Attach was giving us with that sniper, the different strategies that they had. They're very poised and they have composure in those final moments. So maybe just play the buddy system when it's in the very last round and you'll be able to clutch up in game 5s. And then get Priestahh going. He's a flex player for this team. He's a player who we've seen in past pop off in respawn. He has a .87 right now. There's another level that he can get to. Once he gets there, I think that they can get back to championship caliber that we saw last year.
Yes, my first ever Call of Duty event was CDL Fort Worth. That was when Priestahh went crazy before he got sick, right? We all remember that. For those of you at home, you know what I'm talking about, right? If Priestahh can get back to his dominating status, it's going to be hard to stop this Minnesota Røkkr team. But aLLeY, the team that's going to have to stop them. Okay, London Royal Ravens, last time they were on the screen, Gismo said it. He said, you know, us EU boys, we're here to stay. We're going to pop off. And this is going to be a good match for them to really prove that.
London has seriously been the dark horses of the league with the hot 3-0 to start this season. It's all been about Gismo, right? 1.13 in hardpoint KD, 1.28 in S&D, 1.31 in control. Like every game mode, it just keeps going higher and higher. Afro has been dominating in respawns as well. And if he starts translating that to S&D, which they're already so good at, this team is definitely looking to be top 4 caliber. And then when it comes to them winning in these game fuel keys to victory, it's going to be that they can't rely on just breaking hills. They're first in break percentage. They have the aggression, but they're last in rotation win percentage, which is really important against a team like Minnesota Røkkr, who their team making decisions when it comes to those early rotations, they're going to be there at 20 seconds left on Old Hill. So London needs to be on top of that, as well as converting first bloods in S&D. They're 2nd in first blood win percentage and 6th in round win percentage. So they're getting a lot of first bloods, but they're just not capitalizing on them. And more fundamentals in control. They're 1st in KD, but 4th in overall round win percentage. So you might be outslaying guys, but you got to make sure to protect or get on that point.
You got that right. Now, the one thing about this roster that I think is going to just, you know, it's going to help them go up even further is that Afro hasn't even looked his most comfortable yet. And watching scrims before the season even started, Afro was the standout to me, nameless, man. I think that kid has a lot of potential.
Yeah, I think he does too. I think he's been playing pretty good so far in their matches. I think Gizmo's just been popping off so hard, he's taking a look.
You know, he could be better Afro.
Yeah, running an SMG at times, just stats just aren't going to be the craziest. Maybe he's still sitting at a 1.14 overall, so he's been frying. I like what I'm seeing out of Afro. He's developing as a player. Last year we saw him going off on that London Royal Ravens team, but there's a difference. He didn't have a Trey Zero to teach him the game, somebody who had a championship, and that's what we're seeing with these guys. They're learning from zero. So we have to give credit to Trey as well, as he's teaching these guys the in-game leader, and he's also been consistent.
No, since you want to act like you know it all on the desk, Mr. OG, I'm going to see if you know what the outcome is going to be with this matchup. Minnesota or London, when it comes to predictions, who you got?
This is a tough one, honestly, because we don't know how good London is just yet, but I'm going to go London 3-1. I feel like London are going to take this one. They're super confident. They're gelling in and out of game, and Minnesota's coming off a loss. So.
All right. aLLeY, you going to rock with Nameless on this one, or are you rocking with Minnesota?
I'm rocking with London. Their confidence, Zero's confidence in the squad has seriously convinced me that they're going to be a top 4 team by the end of the year.
All right, listen, Minnesota Røkkr fans out there, I got your back. I think Minnesota's going to take this. From what we've seen so far, I love it, right? Even when we see attached with the scope and search and destroy, and the way that some of these players just take over in games, they haven't reached their peak yet, and that's something that I'm really looking forward to seeing. I think Minnesota takes this 3-2. I think we're going to a game 5. But the people that will be calling this shot, for those of you at home, if you are European, you're definitely going to love this as well. Let's go ahead and get Bryson Tun on the screen.
Welcome, gentlemen.
Fellas, welcome to the CDL for your first official cast. Bryce Tun, how you feeling?
I'm good. I'm excited to be here. I'm excited to see London play. It's almost like the fates align and everything. Obviously, Veli, your prediction is wrong, but we'll get to that later.
I don't like you. Ton, say something nice to me, man.
Veli, your hair looks great today, man. It looks
Thank
so
you,
good.
thank you. I hope your beans and toast was good this morning, all right? But fellas, go ahead. You guys have a great matchup. Have some fun, all right?
Awesome. Thank you so much. Yes, getting into this game, Ton. First of all, welcome to CDL. I'm glad to be here. How are you?
Man, I'm just excited to get into it. Not too sure about you going for the host straight away with the predictions. Not too sure on that one, but it's our first go in the CDL, of course, for the year. But for me, looking at the London roster, it almost feels like we're watching Challengers again because of the roster that is in here. We talked about it last year, how many of these players in Europe that look so good on the Challenger level. How many times have we said it, that they are the best in the business? A couple of them get brought up to this London roster. They've had a very nice start because of that as well. But going up against a very, very strong team in the Røkkr is tantalizing first game, Brycey.
It certainly is, and we're going to take a look at how this one is going to play out between these two teams. Great benchmarking game, actually, for them. A lot of people very hyped to see London come into this one and see if they can take down the Røkkr. But Berlin Hardpoint, then Berlin Search and Destroy, Tuscan Control, Tuscan Hardpoint, and Bacard Search and Destroy if we get that far, Ton. We were talking about this earlier, actually. We think the map slightly favour one team over the other.
Yeah, we're slightly leaning London, whether you want to buy into any sort of bias in that as well. Well, I'll let you at home decide on that one. But at the same time, I think, we've looked through it. We kind of feel that London are the stronger overall respawn team. But when it does come down to Search and Destroy, we're definitely leaning towards the Røkkr. So, I mean, it's all going to tell in the series. It has to be said. I think if we go map 5, I think Røkkr take it. But I'm going to lean towards what Nameless said. I'm going 3-1 London.
Well, let's see if that is exactly what is going to happen here. Of course, we will be expecting a pretty strong start out of London on this Berlin Hardpoint. Their KDs are some of the best in the league for this, Ton.
Yeah, they're looking really, really good when it does come down to Hardpoint specifically. And as mentioned, as Nameless said on the desk, Gismo actually second in KD overall now. It is just about Cell, but at the same time, he's there. He really has been performing well. I tweeted out last week, he was kind of a surprise package for me watching this London Royal Ravens roster. I expected Nasty to be the guy that is putting up these numbers. Gismo has surprised, but surprised in a good way. All pretty much culminated with Trey Zero Morris, the one leading the line for these guys. But here we go into Berlin, and it's a good start already for Gismo. Around the back, there's 3. We're in the hill, not quite going to find the 4th. It's a good start for the Royal Ravens.
Yeah, got to take down attach, and they have done. Clean this out a little bit here, the Royal Ravens. Now looking to try and hold off the oncoming Røkkr. Nasty just trying to hold the back stairs here. Unfortunately, he has let 2 slip through. Fortunately, Trey is equal to it, and there we go. Should be Nasty to clean up the last one here. Few bullets going a little bit awry, but has managed to get the time now.
Yeah, they do manage to get in, but Røkkr do pick up a decent amount of time to kick things off. But looking towards the spawns of P2, of course, this is something we're going to discuss a little bit more than just a few points they're getting so far. 10 seconds remaining. They will pick up that scrap. This rotation over towards the second hill. Where these kills on the offset going to go? It's going to be Priestahh picking up 2 top mid. Attach follows up. This should be a Røkkr hill to lock on down. And Priestahh's a huge guy in this series, isn't he? We've already said time and time again, he hasn't been performing throughout the season so far. If he can step it up, this Røkkr team become very, very tasty indeed. But if he doesn't, they're going to still stay in and around that mid pack. But as mentioned, look, this is a really good barometer for us and everybody at home to get an idea of where these teams are at. Right now, though, in terms of where they're at on that side of the hard point, the London Royal Ravens are trying their hardest to get in. Standy just about defending.
Yeah, at the moment, it does look like Røkkr have control. And this is something we've seen before, actually. London, not great at rotations, but much better at breaking. Already, players now starting to get in here. This is going to be the scrap time as teams are going to start thinking about this rotation as well. Nasty should be able to clean that last one up. And while the stun does go in front of him, MajorManiak's going to go for the challenge. And Nasty will take it down, says thank you very much for this scrap. And now we're off to the races on the rotation.
Yeah, massive for Gismo to try and find a couple of kills here. He's probably going to get shot in the back here from Priestahh. There you go. It's going to open things up for the Røkkr as we do move over towards P3. Clean wipe for them as well. And again, it's the same old story when it does come down to London. Yes, okay, fantastic. You are able to break so well. Wouldn't mind a couple of good rotations out of them at the same time, though. Make your job a little bit easier. They found a couple of kills here, looking at the spawns over towards P1. Coming in for the Royal Ravens. Priestahh needs to go big, but Zero's going to clean house. It's only attached left in any sort of position to do something about it imminently. We'll find one, will fall. Trade outs. Which way are they going to go? Royal Ravens still in control. Standy will find one of his own. But again, that breaking potential from the Royal Ravens is the reason why they have control right now.
And they still have control. You can see the pressure coming in from Røkkr just a little bit. The whole hardpoint is just exploding with stuns every single place. But Nasty stays alive, tries to turn on Standy. Not going to work out for them. Trey is actually going to have to get in the hill. He's picked the wrong corner. He's firing at a post. It's not good enough. And more of the Røkkr rock in. And MajorManiak getting 3 there to just take this little bit of time away from the Ravens.
Oh, it's all MajorManiak behind the desk. Eventually does find the 4th, but that's going to force Røkkr away the final 5 seconds. They will not be too disappointed with the fact that the Royal Ravens do manage to break on through. But looking over towards this P4 hardpoint, we were watching it yesterday when we talk about it. You look at how it sets up and you look at how the hardpoint is, you would think it's a lock, but it's a really difficult one to try and break if you're coming from the train side. But when you come from the dock side that the Royal Ravens are now, it's a little bit more difficult. Let's see if they can find the kills.
Oh, at the moment, the Ravens do have bodies in this area that try and defuse it, but you can see Røkkr. I've got a bit of control. Standy's going to get gunned there by Afro. And that has allowed them to completely clean this up. There's a big spawn out now from Røkkr, and I've got to say, it does seem the same old story, Ton. Not seeing the Ravens rotate as much as they should do, but somehow they just keep punching through anybody's defense.
And one of the reasons they were able to punch through that defense is Attach finds a ridiculous kill in the middle. Gismo spawned up towards trains, and I mean, it's all completely fallen apart for the Ravens nonetheless. It's only 0 inside the hill. They're still spawning towards the back dock, but they had a split spawn there, and I think that caught Røkkr off by guard. It was Gismo who pushed in from train's side. Ultimately, though, it's not really going to result in too many points for either team as we do loop P4 and back towards the middle once more. See what Zero can find here down the outside as we move over towards AS and D. Not going to be able to find much in the Royal Ravens. Really struggling on these rotations once again. Afro not struggling, though, with the MP40. Finds 2. Really well played. And now the push is going to come in from mid-map.
Yeah, and you can see the Ravens at the moment. Very, very tight game between these two, and you're going to ask yourself exactly when is that difference actually going to come in, because either of these two teams could take it from here. It's a big wipe from the Ravens, though. They try to get a little bit of time here, and you're never going to get an awful lot on this one.
No, it's a difficult one. It's kind of that P1-centric kind of hill, isn't it? It's one that can be contested. It's very hard to lock down for a certain amount of time, especially if your SMG players ain't cleaning those kills up. But Gismo's here to the rescue, finds 2. He's going to get caught out by MajorManiak. Yes, he is, but nonetheless, the damage has already been done. Royal Ravens picking up a decent amount of time there.
They are, and we're thinking a lot more about the London Ravens at the moment, so I think it's better to get it from the mouth of babes. Let's go to a London Royal Ravens listening.
I'm out over and I was waiting. Okay. Marcus, you make the play on.
We killed Standy. We didn't kill Standy, no? No. He's out bank, attached.
Priestahh dead in the hill.
He's deep bank.
Priestahh dead, got 2.
Nice.
Standy dead.
Nice. Last guy's bank.
Back up. One come in. He's absolute coming cubby absolute. Rush him, traps.
Yeah, heard you. Low.
I'll get you pinned.
I'm pushing their out. Stay down.
Help me. Get my close right. Get my close right. Listen, have your whole pinch.
I've got your pictures. I'm in their corner out.
It's gonna be open. You flags. No, I have everything. I'm helping you hold then. Office jump open.
Yes, it is.
No, I have everything. Trust me. I have your whole pinch.
Stop, weak.
Office jump.
Office,
one more. Dead. Dead. No, that's 4, bro. I'm getting out. Oh wait, no, you got it. Was that clean?
Yeah, it might have been, yeah.
No, not clean, not clean. No dogs to me. Three. Triple dogs. Nice.
Wow, London Royal Ravens sound calm and collected, but again, I would be if I pretty much dominated the kill feed for the last 60 seconds.
I mean, Trey's just been popping off even on P1 there. That was really well played. You heard in the comms, trust me, I've got everything. And well, a couple of kills lit up in the bottom left corner, didn't it? With 0 on the left-hand side. Finds Minnesota just napping a little bit when it does come down to P1. They get forced out, don't get the good spawns over towards P2, albeit they are inside of the hill right now. Not a good start to the second rotation of hills for the Røkkr, and there's another wipe. The London Royal Ravens slaying power very much coming to the forefront here. Very good start
coming into this turn.
Yeah, 100%.
And at the moment, it's all about the Røkkr. They've got to find a way to fight back here because it was a very close game about midway, and now it's not. Almost 100 points between these two teams as London continue to pile on the hurt. They are refusing to basically give them even a toehold anywhere near this one. One last push for Røkkr. Maybe try and get that scrap time, push them off of this hill. They need to. They are quite far behind. And there we go. There's the start of the wipe. Priestahh is going to try and go in here. He's going to get cut down again as the Ravens rebuff all of the pressure coming towards them. And now we're going to hit this rotation.
Yeah, maybe a little bit later on the rotation. We've seen the London Royal Ravens stick a lot of numbers there to lock down that scrap time. It was very minimal, but looking at this rotation now, they need to get rid of Attach. He's a thorn in the side. They do just that. Røkkr are set up though. MajorManiak needs to go big here. He's got a minimum of 2 pushing him. He gets his head wiped off immediately. Gismo down the outside. He's got 0 with him as well. There's the 3rd. There's the 4th. Standy left inside the hill. What can he do? Finds one. Can he find the second as well? Not quite. Ravens get the close spawn. Røkkr not far away, but the Royal Ravens do their damage again. It's the breaks time and time again.
Yeah, it's so difficult for Røkkr here. They feel like they're playing fundamentals very, very well. They're getting to this, they're setting up, they're trying to hold it off, but honestly, big guns from Gismo there just completely opened up the hill, and now you can see the Røkkr are going to try and sack this one, but regardless, Trey's just running around with a pistol. He's not even got his main weapon out at this point. Doesn't care at all. Out comes the MP40. Priestahh's going to go down. The rest of the Røkkr go down as well, and it's gone from bad to worse.
Look at the kill feed. It was all red for a second there. The Ravens really having their way, especially in the second rotation. It was pretty close until then. And all of a sudden, move over back towards P1, and the Royal Ravens have not taken their foot off the gas. A good kill from Attach there in the middle over towards Afro. And Ravens constantly looking to get control of the back docks. They want to get control of that. They're going to try and set up a pinch 2 player, staying alive in towards the trains. If they can find these kills, it's huge. There's one from Gismo. Looking to just try and set up some sort of pinch. Looking at the spawns for the Røkkr. Where are they? Nowhere to be seen. It's a MajorManiak last alive. It's a beautifully executed push from the London Royal Ravens. They're 20 points away.
Well, let's see if Røkkr can try and make the comeback here. Standy already getting one. MajorManiak getting a second. Nasty having to dip out for his life. Trying to get it. Eventually will go down, and Røkkr do manage to clear the Ravens away from this. It's not going to be an awful lot of time for them, but at the moment, they need every single second they can get. Priestahh's going to get gunned down, though, in the back. And unfortunately now, as we go back towards the middle of the map here, the Ravens don't have an awful lot to do.
I mean, the Ravens have really just had their way with them in terms of the ARs, especially. You know, Gismo in that flex roll, 28 and 17. And if Zero is putting up a 24 and 17, you're in trouble when you're going to go up against London. And that is going to surely be game the 1 point away.
Yeah, it looks like this will be over any single second. Afro jumps in the hill, and that's the game. London Royal Ravens will walk away on this hard point, and we did expect them to take this first hard point well against the Røkkr, but maybe not in such dominating fashion, Ton.
Yeah, that was really comfortable. Look, up until the second rotation, it was fairly close, but London Royal Ravens put their foot on the gas and they got on moving. A really good performance. It really comes down to those ARs for me. Zero locking it down in the start of that second rotation. The first hill was just so dominant. That gives them that little bit of buffer, and it gives them that momentum. What a game out of Zero. 25 and 18. Gismo 29 kills on the map. Looking at comparison, a single member of the Røkkr going positive. We said that the slaying ability for the Ravens is there. Minnesota Røkkr not able to match it this time around.
Yeah, and that's part of the issue, right? Like, if you're not winning the gunfights, no matter how much you rotate, no matter how much you actually set up, if you can't win a gunfight consistently against the other team, they're going to break you over. And we said, you know, I saw Gismo a few times getting a couple of 2 pieces and just breaking over any setup Røkkr actually had. And that's something they're certainly going to have to go back and look at, Tom.
Yeah, and look, I mean, at the same time, I think London still need to look at their side of things. How long are they going to be able to rely on just breaking everybody every single time? But I suppose if it ain't broke, don't fix it. A really good performance from the Ravens, but the Røkkr kind of knew what they had to do. The ARs need to be there at the party, and you would think when it comes down to breaks, it's mostly about those SMGs getting inside the hill, causing the chaos. They were able to do that from the Ravens, but mostly it's the ARs finding the kills on some of these rotations, buttering them up, so to speak, before they get in there, and that's what's causing the issues for teams like Røkkr at the moment, who, as far as ARs go, aren't necessarily at their strongest at this early stage in the game, but it really was down to Zero. It was that P1 rotation over towards P2. This is where they started lighting Røkkr up.
Yeah, he certainly turned up. And obviously, you know, when you've got all of your team playing as well as you do, he's just got to pick up the scraps, and he was doing it fantastically, dictating the pace of play. I will say this, though, for everything we do expect London Royal Ravens to win this one, Ton, S&D could be Røkkr's.
Yeah, Røkkr is definitely the team we're going to be looking towards for the Surge and Destroys, and with good reason. They have looked fantastic so far. They would have wanted to go into map number 1, though, with a win. The Royal Ravens, though, would have felt it essential. I feel as if this game, if it is going to go towards the Ravens, they need to win those respawns. We do expect them as a duo from England at the same time. Expect them to do so, but at the same time, look, the Røkkr need to try and steal one. I thought out of any, it could have potentially been Berlin. They didn't look convincing there, to be honest with you. So we need to see something potentially in the control. I definitely feel as if the S&D is something that they can take away. Maybe that's the momentum that is going to maybe drag them back into this series. But yeah, if you're the Royal Ravens, you're hellishly confident now.
Yeah, here's the thing, right? Going into this in the S&D, we kind of looked at the statistics before the game, and if we're being perfectly honest, we do kind of have a little bit of benchmark between these two teams because they both played Texas recently, right? And they played very similar maps here, and you can kind of say, hey, look, London were better against Texas on this map, and then Røkkr were better against Texas on that map. It's not the most scientific method in the world, but considering it's early season, it does give us some idea of how to benchmark these teams. Now, with everything we've actually seen from Røkkr, yes, basically, we do kind of feel that they might be the better S&D team. Whether or not it completely plays out, because even their S&Ds have been pretty close, and so have London's, it's a little bit of a toss-up, but yeah, I would lean Røkkr on this one.
Yeah, 100%. But I think, you know, just touching on what you said there and what we said at the beginning of the series, it's still very difficult to predict some of these games, isn't it? You know, when it comes down to these matchups, nobody is quite sure where everybody is landing at this moment in time. How good are the Ravens? How good are Røkkr? That's a question we're going to get answered at the end of this series. So that's the beautiful thing. We can make all of these predictions and it could be wrong, and it's fine. It's fine. We weren't to know anyway, so it makes us look great. But nonetheless, yes, it's very much that sort of season where, well, it's still getting to grips with everybody, find out how good everybody is, and I'm sure we'll have a better idea for these two teams specifically where they lie after this one.
Yeah, and I've got to say, you know, obviously some people probably think we're a little bit biased, both being UK casters as well, but let's face it, right? London hasn't had the best couple of years coming into the CDL, but now they seem to have finally found a team that works, and this is the Team KDs for the season as well. And you can tell Gismo has come into the CDL like a machine on a mission. A 1.21 so far in this season. If he can keep even close to that for the rest of it, we're looking at a potential MVP.
Oh, yeah, I mean, the guy's been absolutely insane. I'll say what I said at the beginning of the series again. I really thought the standout in these new boys for the London Royal Ravens was going to be Nasty. How long have we commentated over him, and how often have we seen him looking so good on the challenger side of things? Gismo still has been fantastic. Comes into this game, though, and looks unbelievable at the highest level. And he's really proven as to why the London Royal Ravens picked him up. But heading into Search and Destroy, heading over to Berlin once more, we are expecting Røkkr to come out and look good on this one. When it does come down to the London Royal Ravens, they're finding plenty of first bloods, but can they convert it into anything? That is the question. Up against OpTic, they did a good job at that, but couldn't convert the win. Let's see if they can do a little bit better here.
Well, Trey almost gets taken down straight away there. Has the sniper out, and unfortunately it has not gone well for him. That bomb is going down fast. Nasty will get that first blood. Can London convert this in any meaningful way with that bomb down, though? Yeah,
Trey's in support mode. Needs the SMGs to get going. Afro will find one at the Priestahh. And they've just completely taken over the bomb site here. One inside from the side of Minnesota Røkkr, and there's the other one. Just needed those comms. Nasty guns, MajorManiak. Standy left all alone. Ooh. It's a very, very clean wipe from the London Royal Ravens. That will be 1-0. Very convincing. I think what's really good there is the fact that Zero stays alive. He doesn't do a great deal from back there, apart from be a pain, to be honest with you. The fact that he could then watch that, stop the push coming on through, the Ravens know exactly where Røkkr are setting up. They fly on through, win their gunfights, and that's the round.
Yeah, you are right there, actually. Trey staying alive is a big thing. And yeah, we said Mr. Snipe almost went down, but here's the benefit. They know he has a sniper. They know he's down there. That doesn't really allow them to peek or get control of that street in any meaningful way. The rest of the team starts to swoop in. They get the first blood from Nasty, and then Røkkr just basically fell to bits. They had nowhere to move. They had bunkered in, and unfortunately, they just couldn't win the gunfights. However, they have a chance here now on defense to try and do the exact same thing. We are on board this time, though, with Afro.
Here we go, this big aggressive push. We've seen it against OpTic. This time around, though, it is Røkkr who come off better. Standy will catch two of the players with their pants down, and this is a very quick round by the looks of things, unless Nasty can pull a rabbit out of the hat. Not going to happen this time around, and it's a very quick round over towards B on Berlin, as we do often see. And we've seen the Ravens do that time and time again against OpTic, right? Hit that mid street, try and find those picks. This time around, though, Standy comes off better.
Yeah, this is what we're expecting from Røkkr as well. As we have gone back to Berlin, obviously, back in the maps, and Hardpoint to S&D, slightly feeling towards them. They do want revenge against the Royal Ravens, and this is basically a must-win map for them as well. Even, you know, talking about map 3 on this one, I don't know, it's a bit advanced for us to go there yet, but realistically, we are favouring them, the Ravens, for that one as well. This is a huge map for the Røkkr to take down. Trey once again with a sniper. We can see the cross about to come in. It's in Standy as well. Can he get anything for this?
Yeah, just M4 for Trey, though. And once again, look at the rest of them making the move through the middle of the map. We do actually have somebody closer up towards the bomb. That is Nasty. Are they going to expect him back there with Trey? That's the question. But the bomb is down at B. Has Nasty been spotted? I think so. Standy has to be careful, though.
Oh, attach Attach is in a great position. He knows where the players are. He's going to be calling this out. They're going to try and lock down Afro. Oh no, Zero and Afro, both brothers make
Oh my word!
Oh, Trey gets 2 snipes, and now Attach has to try and get all the way into this one. They're not going to let him near. Gismo takes him down, and what I thought was a good setup for Røkkr falls apart.
Oh, yeah, like that setup from Attach is wonderful. He knows they're going to try and do the exact same thing with the break through the middle. But the thing is, if you're Attach, you need the rest of your team to stay alive, bro. I mean, that's the problem. You're there for the cuts on the flank, and if they all died, there's absolutely nothing you can do about it, to be honest with you. So there you go. Royal Ravens, off the back of 2 great snipes from Zero, will find the round 2-0, or 2-1, I should say. Really, really good start for London.
I think Attach had a great position there. I think he saw Afro go in and was calling him out to the teammate. Somehow Afro wins that gunfight, and then obviously we jump to Trey, and Trey's doing work with the sniper. And you can see him after the round, right? Smirking. He knows what he did was influential on that one. But a little bit of a different here now. Push London trying to get into this A bomb site. Nasty's already gone through. Going to go for the plant, and the setup's coming in.
Keep an eye on number 6. That's going to be Attach. He's right below Zero. Standy going to have some support here as well. Not going to expect Zero in the corner. 2 kills straight off the rip, make it a 3rd from Gismo. Snaps in there, and Attach is left all on his lonesome once again. He's shouting around, looking around. Guys, where are you gone? You left me on my own once again. The Ravens. Again, it's kind of that same structure, isn't it? When we see from the Hardpoints, they find those breaks. It's these flurry of kills they're able to find. 3-1. This needed to be a Røkkr map, to be honest with you. If we're leading into our prediction and how things are going to work out. Not looking good so far. Ravens 3-1 to the good.
They are feeling confident though, but still an awful lot of S&D to be played here. The Røkkr can return to form. They just have to try and slow down a little bit of this London pressure. They're winning too many 50-50 gunfights across the map, and basically it's just put them in a bad position. They're just losing numbers way too fast to get anything really going on these pinches, but we will see how they do this time on the attack. Attach with the sniper rifle this time. Sees 2 cross. That's just information. He's going to call that out to his teammates.
Yeah, and that's why Standy's just slowed things down that little bit. Information is king when it does come down to search and destroy. And, well, Standy's going to try and play off that one. He's playing this one slowly, but as are the Royal Ravens. You can see, though, Nasty is making his way up towards that B side. We're getting a little bit more info of where things are going. MajorManiak gets peppered up a little bit by Zero. Not too sure if they know that Nasty is all the way back docks.
Yeah, Røkkr don't have an awful lot of map control here. And it might make going for a bomb site a little bit dangerous. They're going to have to make this decision pretty soon, though.
Yeah,
wondering
Nasty's
if
the big player.
Priestahh will eventually start heading over to B.
Yeah, that's the thing, though. Do they know Nasty got so far? It's going to be a difficult engagement when they do get so far, but Afro is going to be stunned up. He's not going to be pushed, and look at this rotation now. Is it potentially going to be the bomb going up towards B? Doesn't seem to matter because Tan should be dead. Nasty, a little bit of a scary situation. Now, if you're Minnesota Røkkr here, you're now like, right, okay, well, Nasty's all the way around behind. Zero's won that gunfight. How the hell do we win this round?
Yeah, big pinch coming in, and that bomb will go down, but Priestahh is caught between the entire Red Sea of the Royal Ravens. And they're just going to try and challenge him here as a team. He jumps out, he goes for it, he tries to get some bullets down, and he does go down as well. That'll be 4-1.
Gismo on a 6 spree. Having a hell of a game at 7-1, but the whole of the Ravens just influential. That Nasty getting all the way through that was huge, because the thing is, if they rotate over towards A, he's already on the flank. If they go towards B, he's prime position to shut that down. Ultimately, it then just kind of all falls like dominoes after that aspect, but really good play from Nasty to get in that spot.
Minnesota just gave up too much map control there. I'm convinced
100%.
It was all about map control. And then, you know, you let a player through, Attach goes down. It was always going to be difficult with 45 seconds left to get to a bomb site. But when you don't know where the players on London Royal Ravens are and try to execute, well, it went about as bad as you saw.
And I think, you know, that little bit of info that Attach got at the beginning of the round with the 2 going over, I think that further feeds into the fact that you wouldn't expect Nasty to be all the way towards back docks, but nonetheless, the bomb is going down at B. The Royal Ravens will find another first blood to 4v3. Retake gonna have to come on through. Zero towards the back. We'll find one in Priestahh. Shots in from Attach as well. Are they good enough? Not quite. Zero says, yeah, no need to take this one. Attach once again left in a 1v4.
It's kind of a weird one because he's never attached to any teammates to help him out because he's just constantly alone at the end of rounds, and the Ravens are running rampant. It's basically ridiculous at this point. How on earth do you quantify this one? We did say coming into it, we felt like the Røkkr may be the stronger S&D team, and right now London is making us look silly. This is a dominant performance, and Minnesota have to find something here. They have to find a way back into this.
Thing is, how do you find that? You haven't found opening breaks. You haven't really had much of a chance to get the bomb down, and then when you did, you were losing those initial gunfights from that aspect as well. Gismo does find his 7th, so the glide bomb will be ready to rock and roll, and oh my word, if you're the Minnesota Røkkr, this one has somewhat been read. 3 stack over towards 8 for the Ravens, as Røkkr seem to make that their sight.
I will say this time Attach does have eyes on that B streets in case somebody got behind them again. Unfortunately, that's not what London are doing here. Minnesota stacking this one. They're waiting. They're trying to figure out this information. Now you can already see MajorManiak going over towards B Street. He's trying to figure out what's over here as they've rotated away. Standy will have bomb. At the moment, Zero is the only thing standing towards him. He's called that now. You should see the London Royal Ravens react and start coming over to help him out.
Oh, here we go.
Here comes the glide bomb.
Yeah, he's dead on the bomb. Can he get it down in time? Oh, he's not dead on it. He didn't actually get it in the right spot. Standy survives. The bomb is down. Glide bomb invested as well. How did they break this down? This is a very difficult push.
Well, by getting the first 2 kills, that will certainly help them out here. Zero and Afro somehow have to pull off a 2v4 with bomb down. It's not looking great for them. Trying to get that in. MajorManiak will play that angle all day. He doesn't really have to do an awful lot.
Yeah, the Røkkr just sitting tight.
Yeah, they don't have to do an awful lot here to really move. Afro's to get one, looking for the second one as well. Afro trying to make a hero play for this. Priestahh's just dipping and dodging. He's not going to let him do anything, and eventually he will go down. It's too little too late, but the Røkkr do get a round back.
They do, and a lot invested somewhat for the Ravens there. That glide bomb being dropped and Standy surviving, it really is the catalyst for the round win for them. But honestly, London, you've seen what the plan was there. They get Trey over there. As soon as that call comes in, the glide bomb comes in, and then we rotate around through train station. But unfortunately, when they can't get the bomb carrier out of things, it then comes down to winning gunfights. Røkkr have got time to set up because you're so far on the other side of the map before you can get there. It's a difficult retake for the Ravens, though, but they have a few more stabs at it here. Bryce is still 5-2.
They certainly do, but you never count out Minnesota. You can see already this could be a big push by the look of it. Afro ready. Well, actually backs off for a second, going inside to help his teammate out. The bomb is about to go down, though. London currently have the setup. 2 of Røkkr are going to be a B. They're going to have to rotate back over, and rotate back over fast if they're going to try and pinch this hill out.
Not much of a push coming in yet. Just taking their time. 30 seconds remaining on that timer. I think the Røkkr are just very well aware they need to find this first kill.
They need to get over there fast. Here comes the stack. This is all going to explode in a few seconds here. Attached about to push at the same time. He sees one. Trey coming through, but it's going to be a double jab. Oh, somehow Zero gets it. Gismo gets another one. Nasty gets one as well. And it's a push from Røkkr, but it does nothing. And the Ravens celebrate from what was a pretty easy setup for them. I think Minnesota left that too long, Ton.
And the bait and switch kind of comes in from Attach, but Standy's not close enough. The communication clearly not there. And the Royal Ravens walk away with that one pretty much just at a stride. That was fairly comfortable for them all the way through. The rounds they won were not really close. A couple of moments of magic, yes, but for the most part, domination from the Royal Ravens, and they are comfortably 2-0 up in this series now against the Minnesota Røkkr. And well, I mean, that's really not the search and destroy I expected. The Royal Ravens were just clinical in every single moment. Where they needed to find the kills, they found them. When they needed to find those rotations to put themselves in the right place, they did it. The Røkkr just felt somewhat hesitant at times, and they paid for it. It has to be said. Very, very convincing from the Ravens. 6-2 there. Convincing hardpoint heading into map number 3. We're going to go over towards Tuscan Control, and they will be feeling nice.
Well, obviously, they're on a roll here, the Ravens, and Røkkr are not feeling great going into this one. But with Control coming up next, and the previous history of the London Royal Ravens ton, this could be over in a 3-0. It's not what I was expecting, but we'll have to see. Obviously, when we come back after the break, more Royal Ravens versus Røkkr here on the CDL.
The Call of Duty League is brought to you by Game Fuel. Victory in a can.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Call of Duty League, and I've got to say, it's been a pretty fast series of games so far, Ton. We did slightly give this series to London, and not because we're from the UK, but mainly through the statistics, but I don't know, Røkkr not having a very good game so far.
It's not looking good, and it's really come down to the Royal Ravens just playing absolutely fantastically. It's been so good from them, and in particular, I mean, how many times are we going to talk about Gismo? Time and time and time again, this guy's stepping up to the plate on a different kind of level. And again, I kind of repeat myself because I just want to point this out time and time again, is the fact that so much of the talk for me personally was about Nasty, and we know how well Afro played, and Gismo was slotting in there, and I was kind of okay, right, well, Gismo, is he potentially a little bit of not a different pick, but somebody who could potentially come in and do okay? But my God, I mean, how wrong could I and a couple of other people have been? This guy has been lights out so far, and we absolutely love to see it from him. And he really let us know in his interview, didn't they, after the OpTic game?
Oh,
11th. I love to see it. Look, I mean, they're just vibing. There's just four boys having a good time playing some Call of Duty, and that's it. They absolutely love it.
How are you going to fight these vibes here? Obviously, coming into this one, we talk about it, and somebody is making that into a gift because he's absolutely having fun here on stream, and should be, realistically, you're speaking about already, one of the rookies coming through, and Gismo is making a huge name for himself, Ton, and if he keeps up anywhere near this level of play for the rest of the season, it's going to be a very good year for London fans.
Yeah, and we haven't had that many good years. Yeah, Pricey, I'll be honest.
Europe hasn't had that many good years in a decade.
Well, no, you're very right. They haven't. And, well, I mean, look, this team very much look like the real deal, and we said this game is a barometer. It's very much that level playing field between these two teams. They both look very, very good. The Røkkr just went to a final round up against Seattle, who are judged as the best team at the moment, last night. If London come in here and beat them 3-0, what sort of a statement is that as well?
Yeah, this is an incredible benchmark for the Royal Ravens, but to do that, of course, they still have to go through the Minnesota Røkkr. We cannot count this team out. There is an awful lot of talent left. But there are the stats, by the way. Look at this, second in the KD. That's something you don't expect to see from a London team. But the last 2 years have been rough, but maybe the golden age is finally here, Ton.
Well, I think Trey and some of his former teammates would argue that golden age was a little while ago, but who knows? You know, like how long have we talked about the challenger side of things when it does come down to Europe? It's looked so good, but for comparison, heading into this control, offensive wins are not much to talk about for either one of those teams, but 5th and 6th respectively. Defensive wins though, big positive for London here heading into the Tuscan. They won the majority of theirs, 3rd at this moment in time. The Røkkr leaky when it comes to defense, and well, let's see if the London Royal Ravens can make the most of that.
Well, straight on with the man of the moment, Gismo. We're going to see Priestahh straight down low, and he gets deleted. You can see already a bit of a push coming in for the Ravens, but nothing too concrete. Time starting to creep up here on A for them, but Attach trying to make some moves. Should be able to get a pinch on.
A good win for Zero. Can he find a second as well? That would be ludicrous. Priestahh, the only one there to contest, will find a kill, and not quite the second. Not too sure if A will be locked in, but look at already over towards B. You've got Afro, the offense is there on 2 different sides. We're going to just try and get some control. I like this from Afro. Just gets out of the point, knows himself, not really collecting a lot here. Let's get a little bit more control. Over towards A though, the Minnesota Røkkr will clear it. Nonetheless, a bit of a weird map position for both teams here.
Yeah, this is all about the first few gunfights, and we'll dictate the pace for it. Trey gets one as well, and that's a gun to the back from Afro. And now Minnesota are going to have to figure out their next moves for it as well. Eventually, Standy will come in and get nasty. Trey will take him back down, though. MajorManiak coming to back them up. You can see them trying to make this play around here at the moment, but it is going to be Gismo around the back. Eventually, all that pressure is going to be rebuffed. The Ravens are going to have to go and try and get some time on A to slow this down. But in come Minnesota, refusing to really give them a toehold back into this one.
Ooh, Nasty was playing his life in the middle of the map as well, and Standy's just deleted him. So, for all that aggression over towards B, it hasn't really counted for a lot. If you're the Royal Ravens, yes, okay, they do get a tick over towards that. That will help their case. They need to get a hold of it, extend that round at this moment in time. Lives very, very even. That's the push going to come in here from the Røkkr. Zero will find one, can't quite find the second. Afro will trade that out on the mid, though, and that will be A going over to the Ravens. But look at this setup immediately for Røkkr. Priestahh all the way up, causing issue. Oh, no issue at all. I mean, look, he has himself set up. We only kind of seen it on the minimap, but on that transition over towards B, you've got to be catching them out on that rotation, and Priestahh kind of gets just caught with his pants down by the looks of it.
Keep an eye on Nasty, by the way. Keep an eye on Nasty, because he's got to wait for his teammates to get somewhere near him before he makes a move. They are now looking for them. They know this pressure is going to come in. He's going to try and make a move. They're already going to be taken down. Afro is in the area to try and do something. Gismo's going to go down as well. This is great from Minnesota. They are stopping the Ravens from getting near B at all. And that's got to be frustrating because they now have to restack and rethink this to try and get some pressure on again. Gismo's going to try and go around the back. Last time Minnesota were wise to this. However, they managed to get a few kills here. This is going to open it up. You can already see the pressure coming in. Gismo and Afro now trying to make sure they get a bit of map control.
The Røkkr are very aware of what London are trying to do. They're trying to extend out past that B site to force the spawns back over towards the left-hand side of the map on occasion, but now it's really going to come down to one final attack, you would say, maybe an extra one if Ravens don't make it clean. Let's see, this push towards the back, it needs to be big.
There's a trade. Opens up the back a little bit. You can see Gismo's going to try and play his life. He needs his teammates to come through as well. Gismo trying to take a long gunfight against the Tatch. I don't know where those bullets went. He will go down eventually, but the rest of Ravens swoop in. They are going to go down as well. Afro trying to make a play, but it is going to be Minnesota again to just knock the Ravens back on their heels, refusing to allow them to get in there with that pinch.
Yeah, it needs to be something quite miraculous to win this attacking round now. All these gunfights need to go the way of the Ravens. They're not going to. And for me, you know, like breaking down the final few moments of that last push, Gismo's causing a lot of problems back there. At one moment, there was 3 members of the Røkkr staring at him. The rest of the Ravens don't really make any sort of advancements, anything to help him out. And ultimately, Røkkr, as expected, will go on to win their defensive round nonetheless. But for Gismo, that was maybe a touch of a frustrating moment, but the Røkkr hold firm and played that very, very well. They just stopped them getting in amongst their spawn. They controlled it very well, and Røkkr very deservedly find themselves one to the good.
Yeah, unbelievable. Obviously, Minnesota, the pressure was on them there. We knew that pinch was going to be crucial, and they managed to just stand up as well. And I've got to say, obviously, Attach staying alive there, and Gismo not able to get it. They closed down the back, and in the front, the players tried to get through. London had 2 players there. I know one of them was Afro. They weren't able to make anything of it. Obviously, Minnesota now probably feeling a little bit better about this game, and they've got something on the board. And speaking of which, let's jump to a Minnesota Røkkr listen in.
He's on the side, weak. He's weak on you.
0 dead. 0 1 shot. Nice. They're gonna work mid. They're gonna work mid. Just
aLLeY pinch done.
Nice. He's gonna be your use. They're gonna be
I'm outside you. Or there's that you. Outside you. I'm pushing up. I'm pushing up.
I'm out of way.
Yeah, push up and I can get on their side.
I'm helping you.
No, 0 on their side. You can still push up.
I'm
Get on mid.
Can you get you, Preston?
Yeah, I have you.
Do we have mid pinch?
Yeah, I have mid.
Okay. Their side, Nasty
One's
weak.
mid, done.
Nasty's weak,
I'm
their
looking
side.
down the
Deep
side.
wall.
Mid's open.
Nasty on the wall. He went on
He went side door.
church.
I have your mid pinch. Nice, good shit. 26 for 25.
Yeah,
I can look over
the
you
back.
mid.
He might
Wait for me.
Top right church.
Back left.
Top right church, Nasty.
One more church
One's mid. I'm named back 10.
One shot.
Nasty with the church. I'm gonna slide in.
One's hitting you to pinch Afro.
You
dead.
Nice 3. Let's go. Oh, looking
Nasty was
for...
top church.
top radio.
I'm with you, I'm with you.
I'm gonna go mid.
I'm following you up.
I can go Pete. Actually, I'm not gonna go. I'll go top church.
Okay.
I forgot to be 5.
I'm on the side up, Pat.
Yo, hold.
I'm
Keep
holding
on
radio.
Keep on this. Keep on this.
Hold it.
Keep on this.
I'll hold it for you, Mike.
I heard it.
I'm on shot.
I'm chowing the
I'm gonna
back.
chop flat, okay?
Back truck. One shot back truck.
Come on, Levi,
I'm hitting
wait.
flat. I'm hitting flat. Give me a shot.
Yeah, one's back truck. Keep holding green
Close
control,
flat, I
guys.
need it.
Yeah, I'm throwing
I'll
top
come
in for
fill.
you.
I spawn
Yeah,
close.
one shot.
I think
I'm
one's pushing.
okay.
I want pitching.
Okay, one's on
I'm
the
gonna
truck.
chop flat.
I'm nading.
Flat dead.
He's on
Back
truck.
truck, back
He's naded
truck.
on truck. Naded on truck. Oh, he's not. No, he's not.
Back truck. I
He's
can
going
double back
low
out.
inner, and one's top green. He's
Going
inner
in
on you, Bill. Inner alley.
Aim up, church.
Nice.
One more on point, Nasty.
All right.
On church.
2018, we got a minute 30. I'm gonna help left right here.
Yeah, I'm gonna go around the back with someone. Actually,
And the difference there for me, when looking at these attacking rounds, is Røkkr have really had a little bit more of a success of it. They really took their time. Ravens felt a little bit despondent, a little bit too quick. They will find kills there, albeit Bryce, but at the same time, the Røkkr, they've really locked it in. They've been nice and slow, but it hasn't worked for anything there, as Afro finds 3 on the defense. The Ravens will clean them out, but Røkkr just seem a little bit more methodical in their attacking rounds.
I was going to say they sounded a bit fired up. Realistically, there's a bit of passion coming in it. They knew they had the advantage there on A, and they were feeling themselves. Unfortunately, that has been shut down. Afro still alive here now on a 4-3, looking for that last player, spinning, burning, and down they go. And the London Royal Ravens are managing to hold off Minnesota this time. Feels like that last defensive round, Minnesota held off London. Shoes on the other foot.
I mean, I got completely baited with my point, really, didn't I? I was talking about how good Røkkr looked on the attack, and wallop, 4 men dead. Crazy. I spoke it into existence, but here we go. Can they continue this attack, and can they find anything out of it? Currently 6 lives down. Gismo on a 4 spree. Big reason as to why the Ravens have been able to push them back. He will be the one flanking, but the rest of the team need to hold on strong. Afro. This man's MP7, MP40 has got something different, and I swear to God, it was the 7 streak that I was just trying to iterate in my words once more, but I mean, make that 8 as he surely will find a touch.
The round is over. The round is over. There is no need to keep flying around in church and gunning people, but keeps doing it. And I was going to say, Minnesota seemed like they were really on a roll there for a little bit, and it kind of petered out towards it as the Ravens started to take full map control away and gun them all over the place. But still lots to play for in this control, obviously. We will go back onto London being the attacking team. Can Minnesota hold them off once again?
This time around, though, you got Afro, Streaks, Gismo, not far off either. Those glide bombs are definitely going to help if they're invested wisely, of course. Ravens, though, nothing too crazy about this. Gismo keeping an eye on the flank inside of Røkkr. These first initial kills are so important this time around. Zero will find the one on the flank. We'll be expecting the second as well. He will not attach. Finds one, and now you see number 6 there. He's just a pain at the back, isn't he? Because the team are attacking over towards A. They're trying to lock it down, and he's the reason Minnesota Røkkr are going to be able to clear 3 of them out. Ravens are going to have another stab at it here.
Well, you can see Minnesota did get a little bit of a push out, but B is now vulnerable. It's all going to fall on Standy. Standy, though, trying to get out of this one. Oh, sorry, it was a Tatch actually going through their one, and now the Ravens are already looking towards B.
They've invested quite a lot into this. Yeah, are they going to expect Priestahh there, though? Absolutely not. And they will get cleared out. But that's one tick over towards B, which makes your job that little bit easier. I imagine they'll probably concentrate their resources over towards A once more. Just lock that one in. Give yourself that extra minute, of course. 3 people over towards B for the Røkkr. Make that 4. They've pretty much given up A now, and it's going to be up to the Ravens to have another go at B. 1 tick already for them over towards that. Only 2 more to go.
Well, here we go. A stack from the Ravens, and here comes a glide bomb from Gismo. Maybe try and use this to get a little bit of control in here, and already take that MajorManiak. They now should sweep into action here. Already Tatch takes down Nasty.
Oh, a Tatch, that's huge.
That has stopped every little bit of momentum they may have got from here. Minnesota standing firm once again. The wall is up. They are ready to defend B.
And the thing is, I don't really love that streak, to be honest with you. You've got no information. You're not really that far up the map. You call it in, yeah, okay, you get the information, but nobody's quick enough to find their feet and get moving and use that information. But here we go. Afro from up the stairs. The opposite side finds one. Can't find the second. Where's your pinch from the other side? Well, it's already dead as Standy finds one. This defense from the Røkkr is so solid every single time, and they're making it very difficult for the London Royal Ravens. But just keep an eye on Zero all the way towards the back of the map there. He could be the catalyst. Still 1 minute and 15 seconds to go here for the Ravens.
Yeah, Minnesota know he's here. They know they haven't killed him in that last push as well. However, the kills are coming through. They've now got to be more careful. Already the pressure. Nasty gets 2. MajorManiak holds off Zero at the back, but unfortunately Afro is there as well to get it. Nasty's now not really in a position to help them out either. London have done some damage, but it's not really going to be enough as Nasty guns that first player. And again, London have to set up and stack him. Minnesota holds strong.
Another glide bomb coming in. This one on the MajorManiak. He'll be taken down to find the kill on the flank. So here you go. This is the setup. If they can find the kills from mid-church, it's going to come down to Nasty. He falls, though. The Ravens are inside the point. Can they lock this in? That's a big gunfight from Standy. Now all of a sudden it's a 2v4 on the point. You do well for if you're the Ravens to do much of this. They don't get the second tick either. Their job becomes a little bit more difficult. Lives very even, but this round is not over either way. Shots towards the back from Gismo. Surely not the third. Standy will come back, but there is Nasty for the trade. Currently 2 members of Røkkr left inside the hill, Bryce.
And it looks like London are going to try and go from this, but Trey wants a kill. He gets 1. He knows where Priestahh is. He is going to eventually fall down. There's no one there to back him up, and that may be the end of the London Royal Ravens for this one. Too many bodies to go through.
It's so difficult, especially with the spawns when it comes in on this one. For teams to find the breaks on this, you need a clean 4 down when you're advanced up on the map. See the Ravens not wanting to give anything else away. They want that potential defense for, of course, the 5th round if we do get that. And that will help towards that. The Røkkr will be happy though with their defense once more. But I kind of, like, you look at that challenge from Trey over towards the site, towards the end of the round there. He's trying to make the hero play, but the rest of the team aren't there. It just, sometimes when we're specifically pushing towards B, if you're the London Royal Ravens, it feels a little bit uncoordinated at times. It's just kind of head down, fry, and see what happens. Ultimately, though, it's a little 1 by 1.
Yeah, I think the big issue is this map for
It's
that
very
kind of push. Realistically, there are just so many places for people to duck into and hold various power positions. And MajorManiak already taken down Gismo. Unfortunately, they will go down into that church, into Afro. You already see Attach is going to try and make a play here. The guns Gismo, and that's opening up B. What it's actually doing, though, is allowing his teammates to get into A and have a pretty good time of it. As the Ravens aren't in position, they may try and go for a pinch here or try and put some pressure on.
Yeah, I don't think they'll make too much of a big deal out of losing here this early, I would say. It still gives the Røkkr plenty of time, but we see how hard it is to break through to B. But Røkkr will give themselves the best opportunity possible. A couple of kills going to come through here on the rotation as well, and they'll do very well to find their way over towards B. Zero will survive up top church, and that's going to ultimately create a thorn in the side of the Røkkr as they continue this push. Gismo gets caught on the back. Attach doing well on these rotations. Røkkr in a good spot here. Attach has found a third. Can he find a fourth as well? Going for the challenge as well onto Afro, and Attach has opened them up. MajorManiak advance forward. Is this the attacking round for Røkkr?
Well, it looks like it. They've got bodies here. And Attach has fried his way into the B point as that second tick goes through. He's looking for Afro. He sees him as well, but he is going to be alone. Oh, Attach! Attach is doing everything he can, but he doesn't have the teammates ready to hold it down with him. And now Minnesota, after so much work, have to make their way back over, but they have the lives, they have the time, and apparently they have the gunny because they are ripping their way across this one.
I mean,
and London are faltering.
They may have been cleaned out, but my goodness, they've just cleaned out London once again. They know the damage is already done. They only need one more tick over towards B. It has to be big from Gismo, who will find two. Attaches once again just being an absolute pain on the bomb site or on the control side. Gismo finds one back, Standy inside the point. There's still a bit of ways to go, but Gismo will clear it out once more. But keep an eye on those lives. If you're the Røkkr, you're staring at that. That's the potential win condition. With a minute and 20 left to go, it's going to be hard for the Ravens, this one.
Certainly, it's just a point there. Actually, Gismo got all four of those. All four of the push he got. Just held it down for them completely, but Røkkr have time and lives on their hands, and Gismo's going to go down as well. This could open it up for them. Afro's going to be stunned. He's going to go down at the same time. Minnesota now swinging into action. Nasty to try and find a player. Here he goes down, and that's a wipe. It's a complete wipe for them, and that's going to be only Trey left at the back. Somehow they managed to get back in this one. Afro frying as well, but Minnesota continuing to pile on the pressure. Can they hold this off for a few more seconds? No! Trey managed to make the hero play, gets in there, stops that tick. But still, it's London on the back foot. They only have 4 lives. Minnesota can win this on the next push if they can just win a couple of gunfights.
Yeah, Standy wins the first one. That's huge. No lives remaining for the Royal Ravens. This is very, very difficult. Make that only 2. Røkkr have been so good in this round, Brycey.
They have, and it's all going to be on to 0. But unfortunately, he is all alone, and Røkkr are going to take the control away from them. They came alive there in that last one and certainly started putting the hurt on London.
London a little bit shell-shocked with that one. They've dominated maps 1 and 2, but those attacking rounds from the Røkkr just always seemed a little bit more coordinated than Ravens did. And time and time again, they just found a couple of kills on the flank. They were waiting for them coming, and then they push as a unit. The Ravens felt a little 1-by-1 over and over again. And that's why they couldn't find the attacking round and find the success that Røkkr had done. But there you go, there's the stats from it. A really, really good game out of the Røkkr. Slayer-wise, very, very even across the board, but they find the kills in the important areas and get the job done.
Yeah, unbelievable there. I will say Attach certainly put the squeeze onto them and basically just gunned his way into it. Fortunately, you know, London did have Gismo, but he couldn't do all of as he wanted. He got 4 back himself, but the highlights from this map were insane. All the action over towards B-Ton.
I mean, as is always kind of the case, I think for the Ravens as well, you know, they lost A early every single time on the defense, and that doesn't help things at all. And I feel as if the streaks were wasted as well. The Ravens will be looking back at this one, and I'm going to go over it with their coaches, no doubt. So that was not a good performance in the control from them, and they will know that. I still feel confident in this series, but for the Røkkr, is that the game that gets you back into this series? It was all about this from Attach. If he doesn't find that kill, things aren't necessarily opened up nearly as much. And that's ultimately what wins Røkkr the game. That second one on the Gismo is disgusting. Beautiful Call of Duty from Attach once again.
Yeah, that was basically a game of 2 halves. Like, we thought it was pretty even between the 2 teams, but Minnesota found another gear. And that does mean they finally get a map win here on Tuscan Control. We go back to Tuscan though for the next one on Hardpoint, and I don't know, I'm feeling a little bit ambivalent about it. The 1 point, obviously we've just seen Minnesota come alive and have the momentum with them now, but they haven't had a great time on this map before, Tom.
No, it hasn't looked fantastic for them so far when it does come down to Tuscan, but again, this is coming in, and this is more so the Royal Ravens side of things as well, with Tuscan being a strong map for them. I'm interested to see if the Røkkr can turn around, though. Is that the momentum that they needed? Is that little kick up the backside that they needed? Does that get them into this game? Because they were very, very flat in the first two maps. Let's not get it wrong. They looked very, very average, if anything. But that control, that brings them back into it. It's a comfortable win for them out of a big performance from Attach as well. Can they get something going here in the hardpoint? And then they'll be thinking to themselves, right, okay, well, search and destroy is typically where we, ply our trade that a little bit more strongly. And, well, can they force that game number 5 to find that second search and destroy? That's the question.
Yeah, it certainly is. And obviously coming into this one, I mean, still look pretty relaxed, actually, coming in from Minnesota. There's no smiles yet. They know they still have an uphill battle to get this one won. And looks like Attach is giving them a team talk, a little bit of an uplifting speech midway to try and galvanize them for this next hardpoint.
We talk about the Tuscan coming up as well as Attach. If everybody can play as good as me, he's saying, then maybe we can get something done here, because that was insane in the control. But when it does come down to Tuscan, it's not necessarily a map you would lean totally towards. The Royal Ravens. Minnesota are the only team to play it out of these two. They did lose it by 93 on their previous outing, though, which is not necessarily something you want to look towards, though. But both these teams have banned this map before, so it's not necessarily a favorite on either side of things, though. But when you think about Tuscan, you think about those SMGs, you think about it as being kind of Bacage 2.0, isn't it? It's very, very fast. It's very, very mixy. And who would you back in that scenario? That is the question.
Here's the interesting thing. It does feel like two different games that we've seen so far. London map 1 and 2 were ridiculous, but the resilience that Røkkr showed there in that control gives hope to the fans of Minnesota. They're now sitting there thinking, hey, we can hang. This is not going to be a complete 3-0. It's not going to be the wipe. And as we go into Tuscan, you can see again, I mean, it's that same old story. Let's talk about it. The rotation win percentage, it's Røkkr. London, they're 12th, they're last for it, but their break percentage is the best in the league. Is that going to be good enough for them, considering that Røkkr look good in these gunfights so far? In that control, they have the hot gunny. London need to make sure their fundamentals are on point if they want to end this here, because if it goes to a map 5, Røkkr are looking better and better.
Let's see if it does go to that map 5, though, with the Tuscan hardpoint on our hands. I said London 3-1. It's not the way I thought that it would go down, it has to be said, but let's see if they can get things going here as we head back into the game. And I am curious, can Røkkr change this one around? Well, okay, well, we'll find out afterwards, maybe, because we are going to jump back in just a second. We'll get back in just a moment. But for the Ravens, that's a chance to discuss that initial break. Is it? Well, we didn't see much of it, to be honest, Bryce. I mean, there's not really much to take away.
You're right. You're right. If anything, what I want to talk about actually is how London must be feeling, because they've come from a very... The problem is not that they're going to be feeling down or bad about any of their games, but they were on such a high. We said it. We saw the vibes, smiling, dancing, coming into map number 3. They've just been humbled. Minnesota have shown them this is not going to go all your way. We will not go quietly into the night. We are going to stand here and make sure we take this the distance if we can. And the thing is, with Minnesota, I just feel like a little bit of momentum off this first break in this next hardpoint. If they start the same way they ended that control, London are in a very, very bad position.
I think it's just such a difficult one to understand, though, isn't it? When it does come into this one, we kind of haven't got anything comparable for these teams. But it's about the momentum. How often have we talked about in our years casting Call of Duty how much it is based on momentum? The Minnesota Røkkr, the ones with the wind behind their sails, well, can they convert it into something, or can the Royal Ravens look back and say, no, it's calm, it's just a control? Couldn't really close it out the way that they did. We maybe were a little bit fast and frantic. Maybe the momentum got behind us a little bit too much and a little bit too confident heading into map number 3. But they look chill, as does the players on the Minnesota Røkkr. Heading in to map number 4. We'll be loading in momentarily. I don't know where I lie on this one, though, Brycey. I'm struggling now. After what was so convincing in maps number 1 and 2, you would definitely think London, but
I thought it was
strong from Røkkr. I thought it was done. I thought it was done.
I think a lot of people did as well, but I was going to actually, I was on a complete tangent here. I'm going to talk about it. I was sitting there going, I wonder what it would be like to just be able to read body language very, very well, because you know, coming into this one, I feel like Minnesota haven't changed. They seem, you know, pretty relaxed the entire way through this series, even when, you know, maps 1 and 2 were not very good for them. Coming off that win there, they still seem composed. And I suppose that will play out for them as they go into this next one. As, again, I keep coming back to this. I feel like whoever comes into this map for Hardpoint, whoever starts off hot, should continue hot between these two teams, because realistically, London's slaying has been the talk of the CDL so far. It has been outstanding. But, you know, I'm looking at players like Standy, you know, or even Priestahh. Let's talk about that. Not had a great CDL so far. He steps it up. It's a very different game ton. Right?
It is. I mean, he's so far down.
Suddenly much more even. Those statistics go out the window, and we get a game on our hands.
I mean, Priestahh's one of those players you'd expect to be at least midway, really, wouldn't you, for the Minnesota Røkkr, currently sitting in 44th overall when it does come down to KD. Comparison on the other side of things, Gismo sitting second. So those are the kind of differences that can come on through. But if Priestahh can even bring it up to an average level for himself, this Minnesota Røkkr team are going to be dangerous. And kicking off into map number 4, it's going to be a close to a wipe for the Ravens. They'll get those initial breaks and those initial points. Attached still in the middle, but the flip comes in for the Ravens. They'll be happy with that, getting themselves over towards the other side. Can they hold on to P1 for a significant amount of time, though?
Yeah, great double push there from the Røkkr. Now Gismo trying to do something. Eventually switches to the pistol, not going to work out for it. And then Zero gets one with the pistol, jumps back around with the MP40. Going to be challenged again. It says thank you very much. And that's another big wipe from the London Royal Ravens. You can see now, look at Afro. Looking for that rotation kill. Not going to get it, though. There's nothing tries to back him up. And this is Minnesota. I mean, they're very, very comfortable in this position. As we saw in the control, they know how to hold it.
They do, and they'll be happy that they were able to flip that around after initially completely losing a hold of those church side spawns we've seen on the little infographic at the beginning of the game. Teams who start on the church side are 9-3 on this map at this moment in time. It was flipped immediately by the Royal Ravens, but then Minnesota get themselves over towards P2, which is where you'll see a decent chunk of time potentially being taken. The initial kills are going to come in here for the Røkkr. They're going to be traded away, though. That gunfight, just a little bit wrong timing from Priestahh. Zero gets towards the back, and the rest of his little minions will be able to push through the front.
Yeah, another big hole for Minnesota. It's kind of what we expected when they got that rotation. They weren't really giving it up, and maybe a bit of scrap time for London to say that as they continue to meld away. So only going to be Zero who's left alive on it, and you can see again it's the rotations for London.
Yeah, well, the rotation's there, but they flipped it for the P3 here of Røkkr. They found the kills at the right time. Ravens have pushed that a little bit further, and now all of a sudden Røkkr can push from the front, and they've still got it locked down for P3. A really, really good 60 or 70 seconds for the Røkkr here. Yes, they may well be behind around 20 points, but love the rotational play out of them. But once again, how well have the London Royal Ravens done with just breaking these hills time and time again? They're going to have another opportunity here.
Well, you can see the pinch now coming in. They're going to try and put the pressure down. The first two kills as well. MajorManiak trying to get out alive. Desperately bunny hopping out of this one. MajorManiak trying to hold the angle as well, and they have managed to rebuff the pressure. It's only going to be Nasty left alive, and he has to play his life. London are respawning up, but it's not going to be close enough to help him.
I like the push that came in from the Ravens there. Not able to really formulate into much. Really good hold from MajorManiak at the back, but let's see, how is this one going to break down? Zero finds the kill. You can see the spawns are going to come out towards the rooftops. Can MajorManiak stay alive? The answer is no, but here come the troops. Standy and Co are there for the trade. 13 seconds remaining. And to be fair to London, they kind of limit Rockets and not as many points as they would have liked on that one. And we can see the rotation over towards Church very well and truly belongs to the Royal Ravens. My goodness, I wonder what they could do if they rotated on time. Well, we're about to find out.
At the moment, here comes the gunny, and oh my goodness, Afro laser beams out of this MP40. And you are right, this could be huge for London Royal Ravens. Now they're here in time. Gismo's already holding it down. He has been taken down, though. That's Attach. Afro coming over to try and cover. Attach gets a second one as well.
Good read.
And now Nasty just trying to hold this angle for his team. He knows Attach is in the area. Bit of a gunfight through the wall, and he's going to go down as well. This is Minnesota all over again. They're going to break the Ravens out of this.
Yeah, the Ravens actually get aggressive on the defensive side of things, just trying to get a little bit more map control. And Minnesota are there, ready and waiting. And here comes Attach from behind. Finds one. Can he find a second as well? Not quite. Inside the church is still a little bit mixy. Afro will find two, and Standy is momentarily the last one. Here, the spawns get flipped, and Royal Ravens just, and I mean just about hold on.
They will have the lead for this, but you can already see there's a lot of Royal Ravens in this area. They're going to try and take Attach. He's trying to take the gunfight. He finds one. Not able to find any more. Priestahh tries to back him up, but Afro says thank you for the two-piece. Already he's trying to get another kill here. He knows where MajorManiak is. I don't think he knows Standy's in that corner. He will do now as he takes down a third player.
6 in a row.
At the moment, this is Afro's house. Unfortunately, Nasty takes him out of it.
You know, I said Nasty. I thought he was going to be the one to really light it up, and well, obviously getting a little bit jealous of his teammates absolutely frying. Still, that room is locked down here, though. This is an important kill. Can Priestahh find it around the back onto Afro, and all of a sudden the pinch is set up, and this is the Priestahh we talked about before. Finds 2 around the back, doesn't quite find the 3rd in the middle, but Gismo will surely be cleaned up, and that's all on Priestahh. 2 huge kills towards the back. Røkkr find their way in. 25 seconds remaining.
Oh, Prestinni to try and push it out there. Not going to work out completely for them. Attaches out here. Sees Nasty. Nasty says thank you very much and guns him out of it. One last push coming in from the Ravens. Afro's back in here. And we'll take it over. And we're now back off to the races. You can see already Zero's going to see them coming through. Finds one. And that slowed down the push from Minnesota. They're not got free reign of this like they were hoping.
Yeah, and you know, some players would find that kill and push forward, trying to put a bit more pressure on, but he just stays where he is, and laser-like precision from Zero, well, it's not ultimately enough to find Royal Ravens with control of P1 as we head into the second rotation. Røkkr are going to be the first ones here. A couple of teammates coming in from both teams, actually. Ravens the ones not necessarily being helped by that so far. Nasty with a chance towards the back from Attach. It's a big win. Well held so far by the Røkkr.
Yeah, they're doing a great job onto this one. There's Attach, who has been lights out so far this series. Or at least you should say the last 2 maps. And MajorManiak's going to go down as well. Typical London. Flooding in, winning the gunfights. But they're not getting it all their own way anymore, Ton. This is certainly not the first 2 maps for London. They are being pushed back in most positions.
Well, look, I mean, it was pretty close after the first rotation. On map number 1, we know how that one ended, so London's still in a comfortable spot here. They got the rotation over towards P2. They're picking up that final little bit of scrap. They're going to need Gismo to help out, though, as you can see. Already, the Røkkr very much infiltrating the spawns of the London Royal Ravens. This grenade out from Zero, going to try and slow down this push from the Røkkr. Afro holding fast, but look at the spawns still coming in here for London. That's 3 players, and that is one of them going to go down to their own gunfight. Standy finds one, but finds another one of his teammates. Which way are these trades going to go? Looks like just about over towards Røkkr. London still spawning towards the back.
Oh, Standy, that's a big kill for him as well. That can put all the pressure back on the London to try and make a move here. I don't think they're really going to. They don't have the bodies yet for it. I say that, and they win all the gunfights. I say that, and London completely wiped them out of it. And somehow London continuing to surprise in every single position for it. Just when I think they don't have the position to win it, they've somehow managed to just do the impossible.
Looks like Røkkr are just setting up this rotation over towards P3 here, though. Not really going to have much more at it here on over towards P2, and it's going to be a decent little lead for the Royal Ravens, the biggest we've seen so far in this game, of a really, really decent hold over towards P2. Røkkr didn't make it too easy, and they have really sacrificed just a little bit to set up well here. What can Priestahh do? Shots in, he's going to just be baited a little bit here, now has to be careful not to be pushed out, but how are the teams doing towards the backside of things? Looks like Afro has won his gunfight, but Standy round from behind. This might just alleviate some pressure if he can find the kill on Afro, who reads it. Now from the front, which way are the Ravens going to go?
Trying to get into it. There's a spawn out for Minnesota. Can London get this pressure in quickly enough? They need to try and get through this one as well, but Minnesota again, and it's Attach in that kill feed one more time. Unfortunately, London have found the gap and have pushed through. Priestahh's going to go down as well. Afro, 23 and 15 so far. 4 streak on this game. I feel like we keep seeing him do this. Oh my goodness, Afro!
I mean, he's flying at them. He could just be sitting inside the point and soaking up that time, and he's like, nope. Head down, sprint forward, gun somebody, and that's the plan. It's worked out all right. Ravens just about hold that lead that they had a hold of. Same distance, you would say. Now Røkkr. Can they hold Church down and make a game of this? Now they're around 50 points behind, Bryce.
Now Afro is just absolutely tearing through them, just not even stopping. He's teaching them the meaning of side cancel as Gismo and Nasty combined as well. And it looked like a close game, but somehow London have caught fire. Afro now sitting in a church, waiting for this next wave of pressure. Gismo's actually just killing him outside as well. Doesn't even matter for them.
Look at the streaks top left.
They can't get close.
They can't. It's been all Ravens on this rotation. That breaking power we talked about, they managed to find a way through, but ultimately Røkkr are just about going to steady that tide of kills that were coming on through for the London Royal Ravens. They've got the spawns towards the back. Now can they find the break in again?
Well, this is more Minnesota now. They need to hold this at the same time. MajorManiak doing a very good job of it. And so Standy inside, but he is going to be surrounded by red players. Fortunately, Attach backs him up. And now they hold this as we go for this next rotation. You can see the London Royal Ravens not in the best position for it either.
No, they're going to pick up a little bit of scrap towards the end because they know they've lost that rotation. You might as well pick up what you can. They'll clean out Attach. They won't clean out Standy. In an advanced position here, he is really going to be a thorn in their side. Look at the wrap all the way around. That is a hell of a flank.
Yeah, they know they've got no position here. That's the problem. Minnesota have the position for this.
Attach didn't see him.
Around the back here. Can he see? Oh, Attach locks it down. And now the push coming through the Ravens. Priestahh gets 2, dips out. There is no more players there for the Ravens apart from Afro. Can he do it by himself? I very much doubt it. There is too much Minnesota here. Priestahh takes him in the end. And the Røkkr have held this. The Ravens didn't rotate, and it has cost them a significant amount of time.
They were really just banking on that rotation all the way around the back from Nasty. Study, he's not even commentating today, never mind bloody playing. Standy now is going to fall on down as the Ravens get in. 20 points away. They have managed to break it, but they can't win it here. It's back over towards P1. Can Zero find this opening gunfight on the MajorManiak? Nasty's behind him. This rotation this time around does belong to the Royal Ravens. It's a 10-point game.
Well, Nasty now needs to play his life. He knows attaches through the middle here, but the Ravens are here first. It's 15 seconds to win here for London. And Minnesota are trying to go for this pinch. This is everything, Tun.
Yeah, he's got to go huge. They both have to defend from both sides. Gismo finds the first one to attach. Priestahh, MajorManiak from the back, though, are going to be able to find these kills. Can the Ravens stay alive inside the middle? Afro finds 2. That's huge from him. Zero still surviving inside of the hill. Finds 1. Can't find the second. Here come the rest of the Ravens. They're 1 point away. The Royal Ravens get it done in 3. Fantastic game out of them.
It's close. Every single player there was diving for the hill in the end. The Ravens thought they just had enough, and every single time they thought they had cleaned Minnesota off, they just kept popping back into the hill, and it could have gone either way. Unbelievable. You've got to say on that one, you know, it's a 3-1 here. Final match score. London Royal Ravens take down Minnesota Røkkr. The Røkkr are alive and well. That was not a bad hard point from them. They had some great times for it. They just fall at the last hurdle.
And Afro has a hell of a game there, it has to be said.
Yes, he does, yes.
He has a very, very good game. 24 non-traded kills on a 6 spree towards the end of the game. And ultimately, it comes down to him and Trey just locking it in. They find 3 kills inside the hard point towards the end on that final rotation. It's a massive, massive play from them.
It certainly is. I'm not going to lie to you. Highlight of that was probably watching Afro just catch fire about 3/4 of the way into the game. It's like he was trying to teach Minnesota Røkkr how to slide cancel because he was doing it everywhere and gunning them. But ridiculous. London, though, that is a big win for them here in the CDL. There's been a lot of questions about where do we benchmark this team, and every time we watch them, we're putting them a peg higher.
Big statement win. Huge statement win, to be honest with you. As mentioned, you've seen how close Minnesota went up against Seattle last night. They arguably should have won the 2v1 round 11 map number 5. Of course, it is up against accuracy, but those 2 kills there for Afro, that makes a huge difference. If Røkkr find the easy wipe there, they can lock that in. But all of a sudden, the Royal Ravens recruits and reinforcements are here to help out. They get the dub. They do it in 4, not 3, as I know, wrongly called, but what a game from the Royal Ravens, and as said, statement win at that as well.
It certainly is, and this is kind of the scoreline we predicted. We thought maybe the control and the search and destroy would be the other way round, but the Ravens still get it done. 3-1 to them against the Minnesota Røkkr, and I gotta say, right, it's going to be a highlight of the year to watch how these players develop and perform. But it's been an interesting first cast for us, Tun. Obviously, I'm sure people are excited to see the fact that the European casters just cast the London win. It hasn't happened in a while.
It doesn't happen very often either. We need to kind of just take it whilst we can. As Royal Ravens fans, absolutely. But yeah, a really good performance from them. And I think Europe have a team to be proud of this year once more, alongside Ultra, kind of. Yeah, it is kind of. They are European, I'm sorry. But realistically, very, very good win for the Ravens. Excited to see how it goes.
It certainly is. Well, I suppose we better throw it back over to our wonderful desk then and see what they made of this match. How you doing?
I'm doing all right. I'm laughing at the simple fact that you guys gave London Royal Ravens like home court advantage with your commentary, but nonetheless, it was good seeing you 2 back on the screen, man. Can't wait to hear some more. But here on the desk, we saw London Royal Ravens just tear Minnesota Røkkr a new one.
Yeah, the hard points, I mean, they were breaking hills left and right. These guys are absolutely on point. We were sitting in the back there like, dude, Afro is so good. I'm like, did you see the play that he made when he went around on P3? He got the 2-3 kills. Like, that is the reason they won that map. Like, the influential plays that we're seeing on the map from everyone on London, it's beautiful, man.
Now, Actually, speaking about Hardpoint, you put up an insane fact about Hardpoint in the Minnesota Røkkr.
Well, aLLeY just told me about this.
Right.
Yeah, I'm going to let her take this one away because it blew my mind.
aLLeY, talk to us.
So the Minnesota Røkkr actually had 9 out of 9 early rotations on the Berlin Hardpoint and only held 2 of them, meaning they had a 22% hold rate versus the 77% break rate on the London Royal Ravens. Man, Minnesota Røkkr, you gotta shoot back. When you are early on rotations, you are set up, dude. Like, hold a corner, hold an angle. There's no reason London should have won, especially 250 to 138.
But this is the thing. They weren't just struggling when it came to hardpoint and respawn game modes. We saw that search and destroy where, okay, Major was a maniac for donuts until that last round where he was finally able to get one. It was really tough, and it seemed like the Minnesota Røkkr really couldn't catch their groove in that matchup.
Yeah, I think London was just super prepared. They had a lot of VOD when it came to Minnesota Røkkr. I mean, you saw the different looks they were giving them. Like that 3-stack on defense at A bomb site was beautiful. The retakes that they had over near B bomb site as well, when they would get up close, pushed up in P2, try to get that first gunfight, like they knew exactly what they wanted to do in that search and destroy. That's the best search we've seen from the London Royal Ravens thus far. And I think that really comes down to the coaching. They definitely had their VOD review on point, and they were ready for the different looks that Minnesota was going to throw at them.
Yeah, so now let's go ahead and take a look at the final moments of the match. And man, they put a bow on top. I actually thought we were going to a Game 5. Minnesota Røkkr almost had that comeback come to life, but Ravens just took it from them.
And you know what? I would hate to not give props to Minnesota Røkkr because their longevity in series continues to impress me, that when they are down, their composure, they continue to tear and claw their way back into the game. But man, London Royal Ravens, once again, in this final hardpoint, we're still really late on rotations. The first rotation there finally early on was P3, and that's when we started to see the lead get a lot bigger for this squad. And it also makes me scared for once they get those rotations down, man, and they're set up. We saw the kill feed light up red. They're basically unkillable once they are in position.
Well, there's one thing that we do have to say. Yeah, we throw around jokes and stats about Minnesota Røkkr, but the simple fact is they have short-term memory. Even though they were losing these maps and these rounds, they still came back stronger than ever, and they almost took it to the wire.
Yeah, I mean, the thing for Minnesota Røkkr is if they're going to be that, you know, average team in hardpoint that we've seen from last year and now in this series, they have to win search and destroy. They just have to get through these series. They stole the respawn that they needed to steal in the control. They just had to win that search and destroy and push to a Game 5. They've been a Game 5 team for a very long time. Yeah. And, you know, it doesn't seem like that's going to change anytime going forward. So
well, I mean,
it comes down to it.
When you go against the London Royal Ravens, I mean, something bad is going to happen either way. But, you know, we have a Game-Fuel post-victory spotlight interview with none other than my man's Gismo. Gismo, good to see you. Gismo, last time we saw you, you made a statement saying top 11, top 12. Like, you guys are, you know, smoked. You guys had a big win today, making a statement against the Minnesota Røkkr. You guys seem to continuously get better, but I have to ask you about a teammate of yours, Afro. Afro has been consistently great so far, and today he put on a clinic. What is it like to watch one of your teammates really go crazy like that?
Everyone knows how good Marcus is. Like, he's been my duo for like 3 years. Bro, that guy is a beast, bro. Like, he's got one of the, in my opinion, the best movement in the game. His game sense is really good. Like, he does everything like 10 out of 10. He's perfect to play with, and yeah, I'm happy for him, and hopefully it can continue for us. He's a big factor in us winning 3 games.
Well, first of all, congratulations on a huge win against Minnesota Røkkr. I think you've seriously solidified how really good this team actually is. Hi, Afro. And I do have to ask, though, Hardpoint, you guys dominated in the first one, but an insane stat is that you're still being late on rotations. Is it because you have so much confidence in your breaking skills that you don't worry about rotation as much, or is that something y'all are still struggling to work on?
Well, it's a good thing that we're doing that. We're still winning while making all those mistakes that you just said, 9 out of 9, whatever it was. As the year progresses, everyone learns how to play respawn to like the same like level. Some like expedite that level, like, and get way better at it. We just got to like focus up on like, I've been preaching it to the boys for ages, like back-to-back setups and heal. When shit goes to the fan, basically. Oh, my bad. When stuff goes to the fan,
you'll get there.
And basically, when you're doing that, it minimalizes for mistakes you can make as a team. Like at the moment, we're not rotating well. We throw our lives quite a bit, like even in control, like I was part to blame, probably lost us for control because I kept throwing my life. That's what we do as a team quite a lot. We just keep throwing our life on rotations. If we fix that, then honestly, our hardpoint will be unreal. Because once again, we're winning all our hardpoints, but we're making little mistakes like that.
Well, Gismo, seems like when stuff hits the fan, you guys are still playing pretty good. But I got to ask you, when it comes to VOD review, how much VOD are you guys watching? Because it seems like you guys are countering Minnesota so well today in that search and destroy. And do you attribute that to said VOD review?
I mean, that's part of the reason why Marcus played well. He's a FOD watcher to like through extreme. I watch loads of individual FOD of other teams. As a team, we watch every obviously we see the schedule, who we're going to play. We study the fuck out, but once again, my bad.
Like I said,
for
you'll get
FOD.
there.
Take a shot.
Yeah, we study all the FOD, all the other teams, and right, it's one of the reasons why we got so much success at the start of this year. And yeah,
Makes a lot of
watching
sense,
FOD,
man.
you're trolling.
Yeah, exactly. All that preparation comes up to success. But it was great watching you guys went on screen. By the way, you and Afro going on, what, a 15-kill streak combined together in that control game was absolutely nuts. I want to see you guys continue to tear it up out there. All right, man? You have a great day.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it. Have a nice day.
No problem.
Take it easy.
Take it easy, man. All right, so pretty much that's that. aLLeY, if you were to just summarize what we just saw on screen right there, what would you have to say before we jump into the next series?
I just gotta say that was some serious duo stuff in that control when it came to both of them going on like a 6-free at the literal same time.
Yes. Now, ladies and gentlemen, coming up next, we're gonna have a great matchup. OpTic Texas are looking for their first win, and they're going against the Paris Legion. Let's see if the Green Wall can actually do it, or let's see if another European team comes out on top. We'll see you guys shortly to continue on with our CDL Day 2 in Week 2 day.
The Call of Duty League is brought to you by Zenny Gaming. Armor your eyes with Block's gaming glasses starting at $24 by visiting zenny.com/CDL.
Our first map we go, and it's Tuscan. 14-9 now for Sib on a 4 spree. Again, streaks are certainly on the menu.
I don't care in the pressure. Some of y'all leaving here in a stretcher.
Dante's the Tuscan criminal.
Yeah, you are. He's been absolutely running so far.
Hit me with your best shot. I got time today. Feeling like a matador with that Red Bull. Oh yeah. No, you can't stop me. I'm running my own play. For the game win, I can't pin anything that gets in my way.
Sib had an absolute feast that map.
Sib tweeted something today. He said, I think I'll just turn it up a notch today. And my man was not lying. Sib, big win up close and personal there with the automaton. 1v1, and this is going to be a spicy one indeed. Sib on the hunt. Oh my word, it's a slow and steady angle. Oh, what a shot from Sib.
Sib has put in work on this map.
The guy's staying cool, ice cold. He's basically a tank himself right now as he keeps on finding these kills.
Give it to him, he will take it.
Sib, he's in.
Oh no, Sib though, what guns does he have? He gets 2. How does he do it?
Sib leading the kills and the charge. They're just walking straight into his automaton.
Get my shot from long range, going over here's a good two-day. Treat every day like payday. Y'all been living so mundane. My work week is Sunday to oh wait, that's every day. Putting in overtime, punching the clock, I'ma get what's mine.
Sib always wins his ones.
That's 5 in a row now. This is spree continue. Whoa, hello, over the top! Catches the kill. That's gonna be 6. Oh, the 7th as well. Full streaks now for Sib.
I 1v1, baby. Who's he trapping?
The Iceman! The Iceman jumps on the bomb! Oh my god!
It's all about the little things. They're simple fundamentals. Our success really comes from us just wanting it. So we're all here wanting to prove something and just to be where we want to be, and that's to be the best.
Listen, boys, you know the vibe. Comms, rotations, composure, bro. Game is started. Oh my god, let's go, guys.
Yo, wait, Mike, closer.
What?
There you go.
Could one of the players clap right now? We all clapping. We all clapped. Clap 2 seconds, clap 2 seconds. Hello. Hello. We're doing it.
I'm still going for you.
Yo. Top barn. He's 1-y, honey, 1-y.
Oh, come on. Oh, yeah, I'm twisted right now. I'm ready to play. Come on.
But I'm not getting ready right now.
Everyone go up to the give it side. You guys ready?
Get it, Paco. Let's go, baby. Let's get it, Paco. What the f? Try the f again, bro. What? Try slap the There we go.
Air
Come on now.
I was looking forward to that chicken parm all day.
Well, they don't even have chicken parm.
No way. I would got something fire and then some sort of pasta.
There is no pasta.
There was pasta you told me.
Well, what? Where?
You ate pasta. You ate lasagna.
No,
that's pasta.
That's pasta?
Yeah.
I'm thinking pasta like chicken Alfredo.
That's just a type
That's a type of pasta.
Spaghetti is also pasta, huh?
Yeah.
This fool thought chicken Alfredo is the only type of pasta in the world.
I call spaghetti.
But yeah, that's actually smart.
That's for sure going on the CDL YouTube.
Yeah, it's joke.
Yeah, it's joke.
Yeah, make sure we're nading together. On the
Yeah, together but not each other.
yeah, together, not at each other.
Nice.
I know who you are. What? I'm not saying Mike.
I just muted you guys to be honest.
No. We should just meet each other. You shouldn't mute me.
Well, the thing is, I got f***ing shark eyes, dude.
Oh, mate, this is the longest minute in the history.